Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. And wow, I tell you, we got an absolutely wonderful show coming your way. We got one of my most favorite people in the world uh, on today. And I am so excited to have her on the show. Uh, this young lady, and I can say young lady, is doing so many great things to change not just things that's happening in America, but I'm talking about the world. Uh, she doing so many things as relate to her school TIUA. Not just that, but her nonprofits and just helping people in general. I mean, it's she wears probably about 50 different hats, and guess what? All of them fit. They fit well, and she is doing a tremendous job. And we're talking none other than Dr. Jacqueline Mohair. And just like I said, she does so many great things. But I tell you, I think I'm having a little problems right here. So I'm going to do a quick sound check just to make sure, because I can't even hear myself on this one. So just to make sure. And so stay tuned for 1 second. I'll pick it back up. Let me check something out. Obviously we're going out, so we're talking Dr. Jacqueline Mohair, and just like I said, one of the things that I'm so interested in today's show is the things that are nonprofits, especially one in general, Trinity Girls organization is doing so many things to help these young ladies out, children all the way up to uh, adult age. And it's just that you can't ask for. I mean, you can't even script this. I mean, when God places things on your heart that you have to go and give back, and you have to do it the way He wants you to, because He's going to guide you, and you find yourself changing lives. I mean, over and over and over and over again, you plant that seed where a lot of these young women are going to grow up, and they're going to be part of the group that's going to be leading the world, changing the world. And this young lady is doing all of these things. A little bit about the show. First of all, the show is called Bridging Gaps and Changing Lives, and that's what the Dr. Mohair does. And the purpose of the show is getting to know entrepreneur, transformational business and life strategist, advocate, professional life coach, minister, serial entrepreneur, and founder of Trinity International's University Ambassadors, and also part of United Nations Ambassadors. And plus, like I said, there's so many more things that goes along with that. Discuss empowering unrepresented communities and creating equal opportunities. I want to talk about that one. Fostering inclusion and diversity for a more adequate, uh, world. And because diversity, equity, inclusion is needed, and needed in so many different type of ways in every organization and everything that we do. Inspiring stories of resilience and positive impacts, and most importantly, collaboration, solutions, and partnership for social change. So we're going to talk about all of these absolutely wonderful things with Dr. Jacqueline Mohair. I want to bring her on right now. How you doing, Doc? How you doing today?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing, Dr. Cooley?
Well, I tell you, just having you on the show, and I've just been sitting back over the last year or so. I'm telling you, I've been clocking you. I've been checking you out. You're doing so many things, and I see lives changing all over the world, not just in the United States, but you having an impact on
Wow.
social change around the world. And I just want to personally thank you for all the great things that you are doing and that you'll continue to do, and especially with your nonprofit organization. Dr. Moore, can you tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit about you, where you grew up, just tell what makes Dr. Mohair the person that she is today.
Well, thank you, Dr. Cooley. First of all, thank you to you and your beautiful wife, Dr. Michelle Cooley, for this opportunity to share in the lives of others. I don't take it lightly, and I don't take it for granted. It's always a joy when I'm asked to speak in front of God's people. So, first of all, to God be the glory for this opportunity. Had it not been for Him, neither one of us would be here today. I grew up in humble beginnings. I grew up in a small town called McAdams, Mississippi. It's in between Salis, Mississippi, and Kosciuszko, which Kosciuszko is the birthplace of Oprah Winfrey. So I grew up with humble beginnings, and in that humble beginnings, my parents were givers. They were very active in the community, being in ministry themselves. My mother was a science teacher, and my father he actually retired from the railroad, but he actually never stopped working in the community. So as a young child, we were always giving back and doing things in the community. So I would say this is something that just didn't show up today. It was something that, if you would say, innate, that started as a child. So, um, growing up from there, I was always taught to go to school, get that good education, and in doing that, uh, to be able to give back to the community as well. So that's where basically my humble beginnings. It started with my parents, them instilling in me um, the act, if you will, to give back, or the heart to give back. And not only that, my parents were very active in social justice with voting and things of that nature. So that's where the birthing began.
So hey, Dr. Mohair, what is something your family and friends would be surprised to know about you?
Well, Dr. Cooley, believe it or not, I am actually a shy person.
What?
I am. I know you were not expecting that, but actually, I am a quiet, um, reserved, shy person. I really am. But life has put me in positions or situations to where what's on the inside, it has to come forth. It has to come forth. But if it was not for that, I would really be in my quiet, reserved being. But that also let me know this, Dr. Cooley, is that I'm not operating in my strength. I'm operating in his strength. Because if it was left to me, I would be over to the side. But it is he who called me. So it is he that I'm walking this out in his strength.
You mentioned shy, and I wouldn't have never have thought that because I have seen you many a times, and when you're doing God's work and you get that microphone and it's just and the whole room is on fire. On
Wow.
fire meaning that
Mm.
everybody want to get some of it,
My
and you bring it. So uh
God.
doing that portion of it, there is no shy, no nothing, you know, but delivering whatever God plants on your heart and your mind. So just that's kind of got me a little bit. Hey, so the title of the show is Bridging Gaps and Changing Lives. Can you tell our viewers and our listeners why did you choose that title for today's show?
Well, I chose that title simply because it encapsulates the essence of what this show is all about. It reflects the mission to promote social justice, social equality, inclusiveness, and empowerment. Empowering that next generation by bridging the gaps, if you will, that exist in our society. And these are things that we need to talk about. We need to, keep before us. We can create opportunities for individuals who have been overlooked or marginalized. And through this change, lives are being transformed and communities are being strengthened. And I think that it's important that we all come together to bridge those gaps so that we can truly change lives for the better. And we can do that when we come together to work together inclusively.
Wow. Many would say Dr. Moore has a servant heart. Can you tell our viewers what is it about serving others and inspiring and motivating others that just feeds you and to your desire?
Well, like I said earlier, I come from humble beginnings. I saw my parents, they served, they were in the community. And for me, serving others is the core of my values and my beliefs. So it is something that is deeply fulfilling. It's a fulfilling experience that truly allows me to connect with individuals, understand their struggles. And if you hadn't been through anything, you can't understand when someone else is going through pain. So understanding their struggles and being in a position to offer that support, seeing the positive impact that comes from serving others by seeing lives being changed and seeing their lives being fueled and motivated to do something different. It just, witnesses a transformational power, if you will, to just bridge those gaps and change lives to inspire them to just do better. Um, I just, it's just something that's just a part of it.
You know what, Doc? We're going to take a station break. But
Okay.
when we come back, we're really going to delve off into some of the things that you're doing, especially your nonprofit. And I tell you, whichever platform that you're watching this on, if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is go to the comments, ask this great doctor any question that you might have. I promise you, we'll get you an answer. Is your life? I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We'll be back shortly with some more Dr. Mohair.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I got my absolutely wonderful guest here, Dr. Jacqueline Mohair, and it's just I just can't, I just don't have the words to say about how many great things that she is doing out there. And when I tell you that she's truly changing lives, I see it every day. I mean, I see it, and I, the folks that a lot of them that I know, lives have changed. You see that smile on their face, especially when they get their degrees and when and other awards, and you can just see it. Their whole life has changed. Their legacy has changed. The
Wow.
people around them has changed. The world has changed. So Doc,
Oh my God.
all these great things that you are doing. One of the
Mm.
things that I mentioned there, and I want to go back to wherever you're watching this at. If you got a question, please ask this great guest any question that you might have. I want to talk about Trinity, your girls program. And first of
Mhm.
all, um, I want to show this video if that's okay. Here we
Okay.
go. I do not know what happened to the volume. Would you able to hear that?
No, I was not.
Yeah, let's try that one more time because I don't hear anything with that. Uh, not sure what's happening with that. We'll try loading it again. Um, wow. We'll come back to the other video because I think it's so important that we show that one. But Dr. Mohair, can you tell our viewers and listeners a little bit about your nonprofits and exactly what they are doing to bring and inspire, especially the young women? And I'm talking about not just in the United States, but over in Africa as well.
Thank you, Dr. Cooley. Actually, our Trinity Girls Network Corporation got started in 2016. I basically started it with a desire. I have a daughter that deals with came through the ranks of special needs, and so I was looking for some directives, if you will, or a way to empower and inspire that generation, if you will, of individuals. And so we came up with Trinity Girls Network to empower and to inspire young ladies, to let them know that they can do more, be more, and they are created by a God who created them boldly, and he created them to do great things. No matter what people think or say, they all have a purpose. And so that's why we created Trinity Girls Network. And in the midst of that, I met a young lady about 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, Dr. Nellie Kongwa, who became a sister. She's a sister in the faith. She has a ministry there in Zambia, Africa. And we began to talk. And in our talking, the Lord inspired a desire to start there in Zambia, Africa. Now, we were supposed to get started back in March of 2020, but COVID happened. But we are excited to say that we are officially, or we have officially launched in Zambia, Africa, as of April of this past year. Now, back in March of 2020, We were supposed to launch there, but we did start online. But it is a joy to connect with individuals across the world and to have people in place to help us oversee that lives are being changed. And I'm super excited to announce that Dr. Pat Houston, her academy, will be a part of what we're doing there in Zambia, Africa.
Dr. Pat Houston, can you tell our viewers a little bit about who that is?
Dr. Houston is an amazing sister. I thank God for her. She is the sister in law to the late Whitney Houston. We have been knowing each other now for a number of years. She has a true heartbeat for community. Her and Whitney actually started and a foundation some years back, but now to keep her legacy going and to really, really impact the lives of the youth. Whitney truly had a heart for the youth. Dr. Pat Houston have a heart for the youth, her family. And so we're just honored for them to be a part of this movement that will impact and change lives for the better. We realize we may not be able to save everybody, but if you can change the life of a few, that few can change the life of many. So I'm just humbled to call her a sister and to call her a friend.
Some other things that Trinity, do you have any stories as relate to inspirational with some of the young women that lives have changed with this partnership or with your girls organization?
Well, let me see. Let me just tell you of a young lady by the name, we will call her Maria for the sake of this conversation. She grew up in a low income neighborhood with limited access to quality education and resources. But through our program, we focused on bridging gaps with education, connecting the dots so that Maria could get caught up in some areas so that she too could walk away with a diploma. So we provided her with mentorship, tutoring, scholarships to pursue an education. And with our support, Maria, she is flourishing academically. And let me say this, Dr. Cooley, she has gained confidence that she can do better and that she deserves better. You know, a lot of people lack confidence, but in confidence, we can move mountains with the help of the Lord. So today she is successful. She is still pursuing her degree. And that is amazing because Maria never thought that she would be able to go to college. But today she is. And so Maria's story exemplifies that transformative power of bridging gaps and changing lives, as it has not only impacted her personal life, but it is inspiring others to do just the same. So kudos to Maria. And I look for so much more positive to come from Maria's inspiration and aspirations. And what I definitely look forward to her walking across that stage to get her degree.
Wow, we got Dr. Clem got a question for you, and Dr. Clem, you got a question for this great doctor?
Oh, how are you doing today, Dr. Mohair?
I'm doing
It
great. How
is.
are you?
Oh, it is great. It is nice to see your face today and to get an idea of some of the work that you're doing, especially in the Kuala. My question to you is setting up your school in Africa. What were some of the challenges that you experienced setting it up? And did those, and the second part of that question is, did those challenges in any way affect the students as you were building that online educational stream for the girls?
Well, what we have set up right now is our mentorship program. And that mentorship program that we've set up with our Trinity Girls Network It has been one that has been very positive. We have counselors, or if you would say, leaders in prospective places that are in place to assist and make sure that each child are on a track to success. And we realize that each child is on a different level. So we first started with those leaders to connect the dot to make sure that we put those individuals in the right situation so that they can expound on their learning and get them to a point to where they can excel. Now, as it relates to the school and Trinity Girls Network, we are now in the process of launching alongside with Dr. Pat Houston, the Academy of Arts. And this program, this situation, this school will really be able to impact those young girls and help them to grow and to expand their mindset. So, to your question, we are still in the process of growing this particular program. And so far, the challenges have been minimal.
Well, one other question: how can us out here in the audience follow some of the arts that the young girls are doing? And is there any way for us to be able to participate in the process of following what you're doing, or provide donations to your organization?
Yes, you can. You could go to www.trinitygirlsnetwork.org. And as for the Dr. Pat Houston Academy that we're launching alongside with our Trinity Girls, it will actually launch in August, and you would have more for all that information will be on our website, as well as us getting back into the school system here in Georgia to impact the lives of young ladies. So it's
Oh,
very exciting. It's really exciting, and I get passionate and excited about it because I for one lost my mother at 19.
mm.
My mother lost her mother at the age of 2. So it's something that when you impact the life of a young lady, they can impact the lives of many. So it is important to me to instill the confidence in these young girls to know that no matter how hard the situation may seem, you have the greater one on the inside of you. You are more than a conqueror, and you were created to create. And there is greater and so much possibilities on the inside of them.
Well, I understand exactly what you mean, because as a father, just the father being there for the daughter is it has a lot of effect on a daughter's life. And
It does.
my daughter is not a little girl. And you see how their selection and all the guys that they all kind of have to measure up to dad.
Right.
And and it's just amazing. But on the educational sense, I look at, for my granddaughters, what you're providing out to the community is just amazing. And for my kids' friends, we have one young lady that's in the media industry. I'll
Mm,
probably talk to you about her at a later date.
okay.
Looking for some of the exact mentorship that you provide in your programs. And it's just amazing how you tie that in, and you tie that in with the girls in Africa. I got a million questions, but let you finish that.
We're going to take a station break, but this is exactly why these type of conversations are important, because we reach out, we get a chance to understand and learn about other programs that could help enhance our youth and our young adults, especially our young women, and inspire them to uh, be whatever they want to be. That they all have purpose. They all have purpose. God created a purpose for each and every last one of us. And it's up to us to dig deep and educate and reach out and share that dream that we have for ourselves with others. So we're going to take a station break, but we're going to come back and we're going to pick it up. And if you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is just go to the whichever platform that you're watching this on, ask any question that you like. I promise you, we'll get you an answer. It's your life. We'll be back with Dr. Mohair again shortly after these messages. Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, I just saw that last segment alone that just brings smiles and just bring happiness to one. So if you were listening to that, that is James between Dr. Clem and Dr. Mohair, and how Clem just kind of glancing in here that it's very important for a father to be in his daughter's life.
Right.
And also to just show that you are there. And Clem, I know you snuck that in when you said your daughter's boyfriend, something like everybody had to match up and step up to the plate with that.
Oh yes, that is exactly true. And even for the grandchildren, Dr. Mohair. One of the things I'm really proud of, if the audience can see my wall in the back and you see those 5 certificates on the wall, one of those is a doctorate degree, and that doctorate degree is from T.I.U.A. And what that does for me is one thing, but what that does for my family, what that does for the little grandkids that come up and look at my wall and say, I want to be just like grandpa.
Wow.
When I have my son that just went into the Navy, Dr. Cooley, he shipped out yesterday, and he's on probably standing on the footprints right now. He says he's going to do 4 years in the Navy, and then he's going to get out and get his education and be a politician. Um, uh, all because of some of the things that Grandpa and other people in the family have been able to do as young black men and young black entrepreneurs.
Wow.
And Dr. Mohair and Dr. Cooley, you're a big part of what my family's outcome and the way they look at me now today, as a black leader within inside of our family. You're a big part of that escalation.
Wow. Wow.
Hey, thank you so much,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Clint.
Blessings, Dr. Clem. To God be the glory.
That's the effect of T.I.U.A, and that's the effect that you're going to have on the African school that you're doing right now. These are kind of things I'm kind of the end result of that product.
Wow.
Wow.
So we got another question here by Steve Taylor. Steve Taylor, are you still there? Steve Taylor.
Yes, I'm
Uh,
here.
do you
Can you
have a
hear me?
question? Yes. Do you have a question for the great doctor?
Yeah, doctor. I have two daughters. One's 24 and 28. My 24-year-old, she just graduated from Cal State Northridge. And one of the things her and both of them are doing, they're doing some work with Aura Fragrance. They just created that. What are some
Mhm.
tools they possibly could use to kind of catapult that to move forward? Do you have any information or resources that they might reach out to and explore that a little better?
Can you tell me a little bit about they just launched a product?
Yes, Aura Fragrance. They have it on Instagram right now. It's just beginning stages, and I just want to try and give them some resources and tools to kind of prompt them and going down the right path and continue that process.
Certainly. There are several things that they can do to really get that product out there to the masses of people. And what I do when it comes to the business side of things and helping with product and things of that nature, I do offer a consultation, a free consultation, where I'll take the time out to learn a little bit more about their product and help them to design, if you will, a marketing strategy for their particular product. And there are many things that we can do with that, and or maybe partner on a few things as it relates with the young ladies in our girls program. So I'll be happy to talk more in depth with you on how to really impact the nations, if you will, with this product.
Thanks a lot.
Dr. Cooley, can you get his information, or how can we get his information?
I get it for you, Doc. I
Okay,
get the information for you. You know,
thank you.
hey, Doc. Early in the conversation, and also I know we talked about underrepresented communities, folks, and etc. Can you explain to our viewers and listeners what exactly that mean to you, and what are you doing to help combat that?
Okay, well, let me just say what motivated me to really dig deep on the sense of justice is being in the area that I grew up in. For one, we grew up in rural Mississippi. We were taught to, go to college and get that good education and get that great job. Well, in the midst of that, you have those teachers that really impact and push you forward. And then you have those that may not have really been too genuine in aspects of really pushing social, if you will, individuals into a better situation. And let me give you an example. I can remember being in high school. And it's interesting that we write books now, right? But being in high school, thinking you know how to write. And being that I transitioned from there to college, well, I noticed the gaps. Did not know how to write. I was making those A's and I was making those B's. But when I transitioned to college and I really found out that I was not as great as I thought I was, right? So that was a gap in under areas, under represented areas that needed to be addressed. But as I go down this road and later turn into a mom this adult life of things and really looking at the overall population, I began to really notice other gaps. So it was important to me that we help those individuals that are in unrepresented communities to better engage themselves with the right mentorship, the right programs that will help them to advance in life. Because listen, there is greatness on each and every one of us, but there are babies, there are children out there only because of their situation and they don't have the right leadership that they fall by the side. So it's important for me that we create those workshops and we create those educational support opportunities that we can reach out to those communities and instill a sense of confidence and instill a sense of knowing that they too deserve the proper education. So this is something that is very dear to my heart. And when we strengthen a community, then we can strengthen generations to come.
Wow. Well put. So Doc, so you've been teaching this, and I know you still teach in high school, at risk teens. And so what have you learned about yourself in, teaching and working with all of these great kids that's going to grow up? Some of them, just like I mentioned, are going to be help lead in our world. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, Dr. Cooley, I've learned the power of resilience, the strength of community, and the power of transformative, impactful education. I've learned that if we truly take time out of ourselves to help those who really want to be helped, that we can make a difference in somebody's life. And I have witnessed incredible determination. Let me just say this. I remember being in the fourth grade. I had one teacher and I couldn't understand why I could not spell. And let me just say this. For the life of me, when she would give a test, I could not pass it, right? But somewhere down the line before the year ended, they switched me to another teacher. And that teacher began to speak life into me. She began to speak to the depth of my being and to let me know that I can learn, I can make it, I can spell. And instantly from her belief, my life turned. That situation turned. I went from FD to AB. You didn't hear me. I went from FD or DF, however you want to say it, to AB. So it taught me on all this process is how we present a thing. And if children see that you are genuine and that you are hanging in there no matter what, you will begin to see the turnaround. Because what you see first is the representative. And the representative may show up that they don't want to be helped. And it just may be that person that's showing up that's saying, I'm tired of being defeated. You don't know what my home life is. You don't know what I'm walking through. But I promise if you stick and stay with an individual and through the help of prayer, you will see a change and you will see a difference.
Wow. Wow. I'm speechless. I'm just going to be, I'm speechless because the power of you can.
Yeah.
You can.
You can.
People are always going to tell us, Doc. I mean, at least when I was coming up, that You can't do this. You're
Right.
not going to amount to nothing.
Right.
Get those silly thoughts out your head.
Right.
The minute that you start believing those things,
Yes.
you can't.
You can't.
As long as you believe that you can
You
do anything you set your mind to.
Yes, you can.
Thanks so much for sharing that. We got to take a station break, but I can't wait. I can't wait to get back and get some. We say get some more. Get some more. You know. And so wherever you watching this at, if you want to be part of this great conversation, all you have to do is just go to the comments, ask this great doctor any question that you like. And I promise you, I give you my word. I get it on here. It's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We'll be back shortly after the break.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Wow, just trying to, catch my breath during that commercial break, and you can. That is locked into my mind the rest of the day, probably the rest of the year, because you can. You have to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
You can. And I tell you, this great guest right here, Dr. Jacqueline Mohair, is, if you ever go and watch her speak or her services or whatever that might mean, you're going to leave knowing that you can. I can't will never cross your mind again, because she is the epitome, or you can do anything that you set your mind to, which you can't do unless you want to. Let me say that one more time. You can't do unless you want to. And you got to want to, because you got purpose inside of you.
Amen.
And I'm going to turn that back over to you, Dr. Mohair. Pick it up from there, please.
Well, first of all, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. You can. That right there. There it goes again. You can, right? And that's in the word. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. So you have to believe in yourself, and you have to have that confidence to know no matter what, I can do it. Even though you fall down, even though it does not work out the first time, it's okay. Because guess what? You're not starting from the beginning. You're starting from experience. And if it don't work out that time, it's okay. Do it again. Again, you're not starting from the first step nor the third step, but you're starting again from another level of experience. So keep going until you succeed. Just like the train that's going up the track that said, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. And because the train believed that it could go up the hill, it did. And so can you. Don't let anybody stop or block your desires and your dreams, because they were given to you for purpose and for your destiny.
Wow. Dr. Clem, I know you've been holding on. Go ahead on, Clem.
Oh no, I'm catching everything Dr. Mohair is saying, and it just reminds me of a conversation that I had today with a gentleman. Matter of fact, the gentleman's around my age, and he has a trucking company, and he has one truck, and he has a few contracts up in the Long Beach area. And he's been kind of stuck in the I can get enough contracts to survive, and then they go away, and then I come back and I get enough contracts to survive. And then he mentioned to me, he says, "You're a successful businessman, and I know we're not in the same business, but I rarely get a chance to meet people that are African American that are successful in business. Can I call you and just get some mentorship from you from time to time?"
Wow.
That leads back to what you were talking about when you were saying that everybody needs some kind of mentorship. And what I'm thinking, it doesn't matter how old you are,
Right.
but within our community, we have to be the mentors out there for the young women and for the black men in our community, to give them some inspiration. Can Dr. Mohair, can you speak a little bit more on people that are stuck into how to achieve their goal, and how they can gain some inspiration to move forward?
Certainly. A lot of times let me say this. If you see a person that is stuck in a situation, then we try to do our best to encourage them to think outside the box, to share stories or opportunities where people who once thought like they thought, that have made a change or have made an impact or have made a difference because they stepped outside the box. So I think it's important that as we go along this journey and we try to help others, that we try to really impact our neighborhoods, impact uh, individuals around us to be greater and to help others to be greater. And by that, when I say greater, I'm meaning that they can do so much more. When a person is stuck in one thing, the mind cannot expand. But once you expand the mind, the mind cannot go back to that small box. One of the things that I heard from this past weekend, just to give you an example, or the weekend of the graduation, a young lady came to me and she said, "Dr. Mohair, I had never in my life been in a place like this. And I never thought that I could be in a situation like this. But what you did for me this weekend was that you expanded my mind to know that this is possible, that I too can do something greater than what I'm doing." And what I told the young lady, I said, "It's not me. I'm just a vessel. I'm just doing what God has called me to do. But what I'm saying is that you may not be able to talk to that person, but you may be able to lead by an example, or you may be able to put them in a situation till their mind is expanded. Because once you see it, once it's visual, and you get the confidence to know that it's possible for you, it is possible. And you too can be greater.
There you go again with you can.
You
Hey, Doc,
can.
we're down to the last minute and a half of the show. One of the things I want you to tell our viewers and our listeners out there, how can they donate? How can they help out these great organizations, the great foundations, the great nonprofits that you have? Can you please tell them how they can help out?
Well, thank you. Thank you for that, Dr. Cooley. They can go to www.trinitygirlsnetwork.org, and they can donate to our girls organization, or they can go to T.I.U.A.biz. That is the Trinity International Chaplaincy Institute, where we build up chaplains. They can donate there as well. But our the big one that we're super, super excited about is changing the lives of these young ladies. So if you can go to www.trinitygirlsnetwork.org, we promise you that your seed will change the life of a young girl.
Dr. Mohair, we're going to get that on all of my social media platforms. And I want everybody to go and donate to this great, great cause because we're changing lives. Dr. Mohair, you got a standing invitation to my show anytime that you want, you know, and I really appreciate you taking the time out your schedule, out your extremely busy schedule to come on the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. Clem, always my friend, always, always. Uh, uh, I see that Dr. Kinsley of World Trumpet Television, you need this woman on your show as a guest, Doc. He on World Trumpet Television worldwide. So we're gonna try to make that happen. I'd like to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another absolutely fantastic show. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for taking time to tune into the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. It's your life. We'll see you tomorrow.